Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue to explore one Chinese expression a day. And in October, I've been doing 3-character Chinese expressions. I started with 4, and then I did 1 and then 2 in the summer. And now I'm doing some 3s. We do have quite some Chinese 3-character Chinese expressions. Today, we're going to talk about 地球村.地球村 is a contemporary expression because it talks about global as a village, like the whole earthlings united as if we are living in one village. In a way, it's true, but there are many, many caveats. Like we're not exactly the same in the same village because first off, we don't have the same language, right? That's why I'm sharing my language to English speakers. And we definitely don't have a lot of customs, values, habits, viewpoints. It's a stretch, but we start to see the trend of how different parts of the world, because of contemporary technology like internet, is freely open, and you can from any part, as long as you have internet connection, you can come check out any kind of programs in any kind of language, right? So in that sense, at least digitally, we all become the same citizen. We spend time on YouTube or other apps, right? So this is a Chinese response or a translation to this contemporary concept of the globe as the whole village. And we're living in the same community. Okay, this is a unifying or framework to view how the world are connected. So 地球 means earth, and it made of 地, that means land, and 球 means ball, land ball together is earth. The Chinese expression to capture 地 is where we stand on, right? That's the land. But in the same time, it's in a ball shape. So in English, we have globe, right? And a globe, if you don't put it in a context, it simply means a sphere. You don't really know. It talks about the earth, right? And when we're talking about earth, we probably more think about all the other properties of earth. But in Chinese, the earth, the translation of earth, is mainly the two properties. One is its material, what it's made of. One is what's its shape. Okay, 地 is made of left and right structure. The left means soil. And the two horizontal lines, the first horizontal line is the land, or not the land, the ground level. And then the vertical line means something growing in the earth, not earth, in the land. And then the second horizontal line means it's an indicator. It's not a physical depiction. It's not a depiction of the physical world. It's a symbol. It's corresponding to today's arrow pointing. So that's arrow pointing toward the very end of the root of this plant growing below. It has both the above ground and the below ground portion. And then now the second line point to right below the tip of the root. And that means the surrounding of that root. The root have to be rooted in soil. And that's Chinese indirect way to say soil. Okay. The right side is, according to some scholars, the shape of a female reproductive organ or female genitals that you view from almost like a OBGYN viewpoint when you look at female genitals. And that is a very direct way to capture the reproductive function of females. So across cultures, at least the few that I know of, the earth is more associated with this maternal quality because it's carrying, and also most importantly, it gives birth, right? It's the incubator of new lives, right? So female reproductive organ placed over there That's like a direct statement of this is the place where life grows from. And then next to the soil symbol, that make it more specific. That whole combination, the soil plus mother, right? Or reproductive soil, that means land. That's where things grow. I guess for people's survival, idea is more like agriculture, like a big piece of land where you can grow crops so that people can survive, can live off this piece of land. Not every land is what's the word for it? Gosh, fertile, right? Not every land is fertile. And so in this concept here, it specifically means the type of land or the type of soil that can be fertile, can reproduce or to make life, create life. So I guess humans, we are the second, well, not the derivative, but the indirect consumption of the land. We weren't born directly from the land because the plant, they take the nutrition from the land and then we feed on the plant. So there is a chain, right? A food chain. Okay, in any case, that's soil, reproductive, together, that means land. And then I translate it as earth ball so that you can more easily to see. The shape is coined into the earth concept. So I'm pretty sure that's a translation after the flat earth theory got busted, right? And then people around the globe accept we are actually living on a ball. Okay, so the ball concept came from the jade symbol on the left and the seeking symbol on the right. The jade symbol comes from like 3 jade discs connected on a string. That's ancient currency storage on a string, right? And eventually it just becomes the symbol for the jade, the material. Not necessarily in a disc form, especially over here, we actually talk about the type of jade that's in a ball form. The right side is qiu. Qiu means, made of this 3-finger hand symbol, and then we have the 2 diagonal lines on each side. This word was, its ancient version got closing sign on top and below, like 2 parts of clothing symbol. Together with that, that means fur coat. The reason why it's fur coat, probably because this 3-finger hand symbol with this thing is an ancient depiction of fur as well, because contemporary humans, we don't really need fur anymore because we have clothing to adjust the temperature to the surrounding temperature. But ancient times, probably people back then have more fur, so they can stay warm. And so using this symbol to specifically point out that's the hairy part of your arm. Or the second interpretation would be after you put on the fur coat, almost like you have hair, even if it's not grown on you, it's some animal hair or animal fur that you made into clothing, as if you are wearing it around your own like cuffs, right? It shows the hair on the outside. So this fur coat eventually, we can imagine it's not easy to come across fur as a ancient trade item. Probably contemporarily, even if it's not morally correct to wear the real animal fur anymore. But ancient times, that's one of the ways that people, because we are furless, so we need to put on animal fur to stay warm. So that was a well sought commodity back then. Probably not commodity, but it's a trade item. So this fur coat then become the symbol for seeking desirable, something you want, because of course we want to stay warm and therefore we want fur coat. And probably it was a status symbol as well. I'm not sure, like ancient times, how much this advertising business to make something even more desirable for people, but at least Chinese tied fur coat with this desirable, this seeking concept. So now seeking plus jade means it's a desirable, it's a type of jade you would want. And then this there is some gap in there. I'm filling the blanks as if this is a desirable jade, that probably means it's perfectly made into a certain shape, or it's perfectly just like a diamonds, right? In contemporary marketing, the 3 C's or something: clarity, the cut, blah, blah, blah. Ancient times, the jade trade probably also have all kinds of criteria, like what's considered as a desirable type of jade. So one of them could be it's made into a perfect ball shape. And if it comes in a ball shape, then that becomes a desirable type of jade. So then this trade of this currency of jade, as well as this fur coat thing, all kind of dissipated. Its survival concept then becomes a ball. So a desirable type of jade in the ball shape, the jade or the desirable get away, we eventually end up with the ball. So this is a contemporary Chinese rendering of the ball. So land, ball is earth. Now we have village. The left and right, the left side is, you see the 3 kind of trident looking thing? Probably this is more like that. The first horizontal line is again the ground level. So instead of using just a super simplified vertical line to indicate any kind of a plant, over here, it actually has a little bit more details of the plant. You can see the trident shape. 2 ends of the trident is underground. Only one, the tallest, the middle one, is standing above the ground. So that depicts the moment when the plant just started growing. It's not fully visible to the outside yet. A lot more branches or leaves or some life forms, right? It's still buried underground, but it has the potential to grow more. And you can see the kind of deeply rooted, we even depict this root kind of a little bit curvature over there. So this means new plant, and eventually also means gathering. So I would imagine a plant, when it grows, it doesn't grow just singularly, it grows a whole economic and ecosystem of the plant. So it has its own kind of like a clan of the plant go together. So eventually this symbol becomes gathering. It means a cluster of something, a gathering over there. And the right side, the kind of sphere looking thing, some scholars said this means the land or the border of the land. So it's kind of an empty space. That means a space, right? a piece of some occupied or unoccupied place. Now the bottom means obedient people. This literally depicting people actually sitting on their feet. I'm not sure if you've ever tried sitting on your feet, but your feet is going to kind of you're going to bend your knees and then stand up your feet and sit on there. That's the traditional, before the invention of chair, people sit through that to have dinner. And that profile view of this person sitting, I guess person here means the torso, and here's the butt over here, and then this is the knee, and bend over this calf, and this is the feet. So not everything in proportion to the physical rendering of a human anatomy, right? But it gives you the sense of a person sitting on there. So when person sitting on there, that means they are kind of humble or sedentary, not sedentary, but they're not really in a position to attack or to hunt. They are not in a predator mode. They are more in a quiet mode. Therefore, there are people who are ruled by some. So it's a population symbol. It becomes people who are obeying a set of rules. So they are kind of including the shape of sitting on the heels to have dinner or have conversation. That's the posture encouraged back then. So now that symbol used as a depiction of people, as ruly people, not unruly people. Let's say that. Okay, so now we have land in the small circle thing, and the people and the gathering. There we go. That's the component of village. We have this gathering of people living off this space. So Earth Ball Village is Chinese global village. And I would say probably this gathering of the whole globe together to attend something beyond the, what do you call it? The Olympic Games is a very good example of how the global community or different countries, different people from different nations can gather together to do something of kind of share the same activity and try to win off, compete and win in this big event. So this is a good illustration of global village. And yeah, that's the Chinese translation of 地球村 as global village. Catching into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another.